What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Dubai? Perhaps it's sparkly skyscrapers that reach dizzying heights, flashy supercars driven by millionaires, and vast air-conditioned shopping malls that cater to your every taste and need. Today, we will dive into a deeper analysis on facts about Dubai and show its dark side that nobody really talks about. Number 1. Dubai isn't a walkable city. Dubai is a city that is spread out along 30 miles of coastline, with many places of interest being long distances apart from each other. Add to that the bad traffic on crowded highways. In fact, Dubai's traffic jams are some of the worst in the world. Dubai is not a pedestrian-friendly city, and walking opportunities are limited due to that extreme heat. This is one of those cities where public transport is not the best way to get around either, as buses sit in traffic jams. Aside from renting your own car, taxis are the next best alternative and are relatively inexpensive. Number 2. Everything looks and feels so fake. This is one of the biggest letdowns. Wherever you go in Dubai, be it the endless shopping malls, the streets, the eateries, and even the beach, everything feels artificial, empty, and soulless. There's hardly any historic sites here, which might explain why there's such an aggressive expansion of tourist attractions popping up all over the city, some of which are lackluster, such as the Dubai Frame and the overrated water fountain at the Burj Khalifa. The Palm Jumeirah, the iconic man-made island, is particularly underwhelming, as are the views of the Palm Atlantis and the Burj Al Arab, the alleged only 7-star hotel in the world. And is it really necessary to have an indoor ski slope here in the desert? Number 3. La Mer. La Mer, which in French means the sea, sits on top of the list of artificial tourist traps. Everything here is artificial as hell. From the Western-themed streets with rustic buildings lined with fake, meaningless graffiti art on the outside walls, to hipster restaurants and chic cafes selling the most overpriced food and drink you'll ever find on a beach. The saddest thing about this place, as with almost everywhere else in Dubai, are the laborers. You'll notice the Keralan and Filipino staff working in the scorching 50 Celsius heat. Number 4. The Marina Promenade. A day at the Marina Bay Promenade should be a highlight in any Dubai trip. For us, though, it was a bit of a letdown. Just another artificial tourist trap. Sure, we enjoyed the speedboat tour of the 2 famous landmarks, Burj Al Arab, Atlantis the Palm. Well, kind of. It didn't exactly blow us away, but for the price we paid, around $25 per person, it wasn't too bad. Number 5. The Burj Khalifa. Conquering the world's tallest building is without a doubt a bucket list experience. You'll witness views atop a tower that you'll never find anywhere else in the world, until they build a bigger tower, of course. To be fair, the Burj Khalifa isn't a highlight of any Dubai trip. And to get the best views, book the slightly pricier time slots around 4 p.m. to ensure you make it to the top in time for sunset, and you can witness the stunning views during both daylight and nighttime in one visit. Something to bear in mind is the queues are incredibly long. Waiting time is well over an hour. The queues for getting back down are just as long. But since there aren't any staff managing the queues, you'll find selfish tourists pushing into the front of the queues, causing anger and confrontation from others who now have to wait even longer. Number 6. Overpriced, mediocre food. Savvy travelers will notice that while the cost of food in downtown Dubai is a bit on the costly side, it's actually not as tasty as you'd expect. In downtown Dubai, you'll find restaurants by world-famous chefs. Think Gordon Ramsay, Elaine Ducasse, and Jamie Oliver. Though these spots are merely commercial cash cows for those celebrity chefs, the actual quality of the food is average, yet costs an absolute fortune. A perfect example is the afternoon tea at the Burj Al Arab. It's marketed as one of the best in the world, yet it is in fact nothing more than mediocre. Number 7. Dubai is swelteringly hot and also polluted. It's no secret that Dubai is very hot even in winter. The heat and humidity makes it a challenge to stay outside longer than a few minutes without getting soaked in sweat, unless you're here to sunbathe. But did you know that the UAE is also one of the most polluted countries in the world? Due to the extreme heat, humidity, and pollution, the city gets quite hazy, and the views are not quite as spectacular as you see on the photos. Number 8. Aggressive construction everywhere. The explosion of tourism in Dubai is a result of the rapid expansion of the metropolis. You'll see countless construction sites everywhere, as new skyscrapers are popping up around the city, each trying to outdo each other in height and glitz. Adding to this are yet more and more luxury apartments, infinity pools, and 5-star hotels. In fact, there are a whopping 168 new hotel projects being planned in Dubai alone. Number 9. Modern slavery. Now we come to the biggest disappointment of Dubai. There's no escaping the fact that the enormous expansion of the Dubai metropolis and its glimmering splendor is down to the literal blood, sweat, and tears of immigrant workers trapped in modern slavery. Most people are blissfully unaware or ignorant of modern slavery in the UAE, and many people will even give awkward excuses at the mention of the word slavery, as if it was some dreadful thing of the past. The reality of Dubai is the complete opposite of what you see on TV and in magazines. Ben Anderson, BBC undercover journalist. Let's get down to the facts. More than 88.5% of the population of the UAE are migrant workers, and South Asian immigrants making up 42.5% of the workforce. These workers, mostly illiterate and impoverished villagers from rural communities in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, respond to work ads and are lured to the UAE with the promise of $300 monthly salaries plus food and accommodation, in return for working 9 to 5, 5 days a week. If this were the case, they would be able to work their contract, then bring money home to their families. Except this is far from the truth. The reality is, as soon as they land in the UAE, their passports are confiscated immediately. They're told to work 14-hour shifts for 6 to 7 days a week in scorching 50 degrees Celsius or 122 degree Fahrenheit heat, and are promised just $175 a month. And things get worse. The workers are forced to shack up in squalid shanty towns on the edge of the desert, with 10 people to a room and 45 men sharing one outdoor bathroom. This is the definition of modern-day slavery, and it continues today in the UAE. Have you ever been to Dubai? What was your experience in the artificial concrete jungle of the Arabian desert? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more travel videos.